They made a group chat trashing me, so I joined it. I was sitting on my bed scrolling through my phone when a notification popped up from a group chat I had never seen before. When I tapped on it, I saw my name in messages going back months between the 4 girls I had eaten lunch with every single day since freshman year. Somebody had accidentally added me instead of a different contact, and nobody had noticed yet. So instead of confronting anyone or leaving the chat, I turned off my notifications and started reading from the very beginning because I needed to know how deep this went. I scrolled back to the oldest messages and found weeks of them picking apart everything about me. My clothes, my voice, the way I laughed too loud, the way I texted too much. They had a nickname for me that I am not going to repeat, and Talia was the one who came up with it. There was a thread where Talia ranked the girls in our grade by how annoying they were, and I was number 1 by a wide margin. The deeper I read, the worse it got, and by the time I caught up to the recent messages, I found something I could actually use because Talia had laid out a plan for our history presentation the next week. She told the group they were going to assign me the wrong section, so when our group got called up, I would present completely wrong information in front of the entire class, while they pretended to be embarrassed for me. She typed, "Her face is going to be so red I might actually record it," while the other girls sent heart emojis like she had just posted a cute photo of her dog. I read every message in that thread twice. Then I closed my phone, opened my laptop, and started researching every section of the presentation, including theirs. I stayed up until 3 in the morning building slides for all 4 parts, and rehearsing until I could deliver the entire thing without notes. When our group got called up the next day, I walked to the front of the room and started talking before anyone else could open their mouths. I covered Talia's section first, and she tried to cut in, but I kept going without even glancing in her direction. I moved through every remaining section back to back, while the 3 of them stood behind me with their hands at their sides and absolutely nothing to contribute. Our teacher stopped me halfway through to tell me I was doing an excellent job and asked if the rest of the group wanted to add anything. Talia opened her mouth and closed it again because I had already delivered everything better than she could have. We got full marks while the other 3 stood at the front of the room like mannequins waiting to be put back in storage. I sat down and checked the chat under my desk. Talia was typing in all capital letters, asking how I knew the right section. One of the other girls responded, "There's literally no way she just guessed. Someone definitely told her." And they started accusing each other of being the leak while the whole chat devolved into paragraphs of panicked texts. After class, Talia cornered me in the hallway and asked if someone told me the sections got changed. I looked her right in the eyes and said, "I just wanted to be extra prepared, so I studied everything." And for about 3 seconds, she stared at me like she was trying to read something written on the inside of my skull before she smiled and said, "Well, you totally saved us, good job," in this voice that was so fake it could have come with a barcode. I decided to keep going because watching Talia's face crumble during that presentation was the most satisfying thing I had experienced in months. The following week, I saw a thread where Talia told the group she was going to find my crush between classes and tell him I had been talking about him nonstop so he would think I was unhinged and avoid me. One of the other girls responded, "Honestly, this might be the thing that finally breaks her." I got to school early the next morning and found him at his locker before first period. I started a conversation about the assignment we had due, kept it casual, mentioned how slammed I had been lately, and how I barely had time to think about anything outside of school. He laughed and said he felt the same way. We talked for almost 10 minutes about school and music and this terrible substitute teacher we both had, and I could feel something real building between us before the bell cut it short. When Talia found him at lunch and started telling him I was obsessed with him, he looked genuinely confused. "That's weird because she literally just told me this morning she's been too busy to breathe," he said, and Talia had to backtrack and mumble something about exaggerating while he walked away from her mid-sentence. I watched that from across the cafeteria, eating my fries one by one, biting the inside of my cheek because Talia looked like someone had just canceled her birthday in front of everyone she invited. Then on Thursday night, I saw them planning a weekend hangout at a bowling alley and coordinating exactly how to make sure I wasn't included. Talia typed, "If she asks, just tell her it's a small thing and we already have too many people." I texted Noor from my math class and asked if she wanted to go bowling that Saturday